Welcome back to Don't Quote Us Sports. It is September 16th. And Herb, I gotta start off this episode. You want to take a guess at what I did this weekend?
You mounted a vessel off of the coast out there and seized a naval vessel from the United States Navy. Is that what you did?
Dude, you were so close. I didn't think you would get it on the first shot.
So you did, in fact, commandeer a naval vessel from the United States government.
If you consider a inflatable turtle in somebody's backyard pool as a U.S. vessel, then yes, I most definitely did.
Listen, as long as you were flying a nation's colors up top, technically you're a pirate.
But what I was going to say, I had to spend 2.5 hours of my day on Saturday during the Tennessee-Georgia game, right, to go to a 1-year-old's birthday party.
I've been to a few of those. Those aren't for the kid. Those are for mom and dad 100%.
That's what I wanted to touch on. Can we stop with doing these extravagant parties, like all these decorations for a child that's not going to remember any of it? Like the people that literally bring their gifts and it's like in these boxes and the kid has to unwrap it. Like the kid can't do it themselves. Just give them the toy. They just want the toy.
Yeah, the wrapping of the gifts doesn't make a lot of sense. Their thumbs don't work like they really should at that age, right? I mean, it's a nightmare. I get that.
Like, why do I need to buy a birthday card for a 1-year-old? They can't read.
Does your wife listen to the pod?
If she does a real good job of pretending.
Sorry, honey.
No, I said the same things to her as we were driving up there. She ran into the grocery store because we had to stop and go get a freaking bag and birthday card on the way there. And I'm like, this is so pointless.
Was there at least a cooler of adult beverages?
There was, but I only treated myself to a couple waters.
Didn't even have brewski?
Dude, it was a bunch of people I didn't know.
You could have one.
Dude, having a brewski around people you don't know.
It's the only way I know how to. It's the only way I know how to cope in a large group setting anymore.
No, I just do the adult thing now, where I just stand off in the corner, very standoffishly,
and wait for Rachel to get done talking to people,
and try and not make eye contact with anybody.
Nobody come talk to me. Nobody come talk to me.
Yep. If I'm lucky, I'll scroll on my phone for a little bit. Nobody will know I'm there.
I've been there, but you did. You went to a barbecue fest.
I did go to a barbecue fest, dude. I had some gas wings, low key. You want to know what my biggest qualm was? What that was?
Go ahead.
There was a food truck, so they had a bunch of food trucks. Obviously, it was a barbecue fest, and they had a giant banner on one of the vendors at the very end. Like I came in on one side of the venue, and on the complete opposite side was a vendor, and they had a big banner, and it said oxtail. I don't know about you.
I love oxtail.
I've never had oxtail before, so I saw that banner. I saw that banner, and I was like, today is the fucking day. Like, I need that in my life. No questions asked. Don't bother me. I finally make my way all the way down there. Fucking false advertising. They weren't even selling it.
They didn't have oxtail?
I was fuming. Yeah. They had a bunch of, like, Caribbean stuff. There was a bunch of, like, jerk chicken, jerk salmon.
Which oxtail is very common down there. But if I saw a large banner at a barbecue fest that said oxtail, and I'm like, ooh, because I very much enjoy oxtail in many forms, I probably would have thrown a fit. I probably would have thrown a fit.
Trust me, I said quite, like, loudly under my breath, and there was a lie, and I was like, This feels like false advertising. There's no oxtails.
Oh, so you were just harassing staff, huh?
No, I
Unbelievable,
said
sir.
I said it from the back of the line, so I wasn't
But
directly in front of
loud
everybody.
enough for them to hear it, didn't you?
Hopefully,
Oh,
but
well,
you know, Night Ranger, the band.
like the old band from like
Yeah,
'84,
yeah, that one. They
they played.
played. Yeah,
Did it slap?
I waited an hour and a half for them to play that one. Soul Christian sister something song.
Sister Christian?
Yeah, Sister Christian. That's what it was. Motorin,
Yes.
motorin.
What a tune, by the way. What
Uh,
a tune.
Dude, it almost feels like elder abuse though when you watch bands that are that old get on stage. It's like that's somebody's grandpa. It might be somebody's great grandpa at this point, and this dude looks like he's straight out of the '80s still.
Well, and dude, you know my career past, my previous work experience. I got to work a lot of those concerts back in the day. Watching the Rolling Stones, and rest in peace Ozzy, but when I saw him, he wasn't looking great. It was incredible concerts, kind of a little bit of tough watch at times, to be honest with you.
Well, did you see the clip that was going around of Iggy Pop recently?
Listen, Iggy, I don't think the universe intended for Iggy to be around in 2025. Okay, I
That
I can
I
only
don't.
imagine what Iggy looks like now.
Oh, you're gonna have to look up a clip of that after this podcast.
He looked rough in the 70s and 80s.
Dude, he was like in a permanent like tilt on stage.
Oh, Iggy.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. I know you want to go out a rock star, but hang it up. Well, hey, I'm glad you had a good weekend, buddy. Some of us were stuck working all weekend.
You know what he's trying to say, folks? Run up the run up the subscribers.
Please.
We
I
need
can't.
we need Herb to see greener pastures.
I listen. If I could do this full time, I would sit at this computer and edit until my fingers bled. All right. I very much enjoy it. I'm having a lot of fun. I would rather be doing this than going to my day job. Grateful to have the day job, but I'd rather be doing this all day.
We're working towards the bigger goals.
I say that because there are people at work that listen to this podcast. My boss, Matt, if you're listening, yay, work. Thank you.
Give him a pay raise, Matt. You know what you're doing.
Please. All right, but hey, seeing as we're trying to blow this thing up to the moon, let's talk a little sporting, huh? Let's talk.
Shoot, I thought we were doing the full like pop culture type thing. Like we can maybe touch into the sports, but really let's just get into like the real pop culture news.
Let's talk about who Theo Johnson's dating, huh? Let's get into that. No, kiss
I like
my
it.
ass. Kiss
Okay,
my ass.
Fine.
All right.
Fine.
Just
Where do you want to start?
because you watch Love Island doesn't mean you got to drag me into it.
Hey, in fairness, I only watched Love Island, but it was the UK version, so I just got to listen to their accents the entire time. Hysterical. I love it.
Had to watch with subtitles.
Oh, no doubt.
100%.
No question.
But let's go into sports, baby.
Boats. Okay, where do you want to start?
I think we said it was the game of the week. We said it last week. We were praising this thing to high heavens. So we got to start in Knoxville, baby.
Can I say one thing at the start here? I'm just glad that we finally had one of these highly anticipated matchups finally live up to the billing. We had the Ohio State-Texas game earlier this year. We had the Clemson-LSU game earlier this year. Like we had
Stinker
just
games.
absolute stinkers out there, right? So I'm glad we could finally get a game like this. This was a edge of your seat the entire game.
I think that this was one of the more fun games. I don't know if it's going to go for game of the year per se. The one thing I do want to start before we really dive into this. Do you remember the betting line that I said was egregiously low in this one?
Yeah, the over-under, I think you said
At
was about
49.5?
Yeah.
Crushed it. What did it finish? 85? Weird. Huh.
Hey, in fairness, I wasn't super sold on the over with how the Georgia offense looked the first couple of weeks.
I tell you what, if our faithful listeners were paying attention, they put the mortgage on that motherfucker.
But can we have a little trust circle moment right now?
Oh, trust circle. Bring it tight.
I think these might be the two teams at the end of the season that we're talking about.
Wow.
SEC.
These two teams?
Even though Tennessee lost this game at home, I have so much stock in Joey Aguilar and these Tennessee Volunteers right now.
Wow.
Chris Brazzell might be your leader for the Blitnikoff at this very moment.
That's a hot little take, too. Don't quote us.
That dude is a stud. Joey Aguilar is a stud. They are making UCLA look like goddamn fools out there on the West Coast with this trade, essentially quote-unquote trade. Joey Aguilar, I know they lost this game, but, dude, the start of that game, I was ready to give him the Heisman. What did he started that game, completed his first, 14 passes, I think it was.
Off the first drive, he was 7 of 7. I knew that much.
Yeah. Completed his first 14 passes for 213 yards and 2 touchdowns. I thought they were about to boat race the Bulldogs at that point.
Well, it started to turn into that a little bit. Early on, all of a sudden it's 21-7, and oh my God, Tennessee's driving again. Luckily, some errors by Tennessee and capitalizing by Georgia. Georgia hung in there. I'll give them credit because they did hang in there. They pounced at the right time. I'm still not sold. I'm still not sold on that offense.
Hey, can we give Gunnar Stockton his flowers, though? I know we were very critical of him when we spoke last week. Dude, he went out there and he had damn near a flawless game. Considering first road start in the SEC, he goes out there, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns combined. Like, he was just very efficient, and they finally started pushing the ball downfield.
Which, last week we said that was something we had not yet seen, and against lesser opponents, we expected to see it. And Gunnar kind of came alive, comparatively, right? We both said, is it the training wheels? Is it lack of ability? We're not sure. We started to see what the flashes that we saw at the end of last year in the playoff, right? We started to see mobility. We started to see creativity. I think Gunnar Stockton, while I don't think he's this crazy freak athlete, he's one of those like sneaky, slippery dudes that just finds a way through these D linemen. And then the awareness to stay flat at the line of scrimmage and dump off and throw some 40-yard, dump it over the top while on the move. It was impressive to see, no doubt there. So I'll apologize. Sorry, Gunnar. Apologize. Keep that up.
But then I just had to point out, I think Georgia found their next little white receiver out there.
Well, they've always got to have one.
It was Ladd McConkey a couple of years ago. It might be London Humphrey's time now. Might be.
How old is he?
Let's take a peek.
He's not a freshman, is he?
Junior. He's a little bit too tall to be the token white boy, though, on the team.
Was he 6'2"? Yeah.
Yeah, can't do it.
Yeah, that's a different type of cat. Now, listen, you're 5'11", Julian Edelman comparison incoming, all right?
Now we're talking.
Yeah, now we're talking. Now we're talking Danny Amendola, baby.
You got a one-way ticket to the NFL with those measurements.
Or if it doesn't work out at Georgia, Bill will take you at North Carolina and turn you to a Hall of Famer. But as long as you've got a rugby or lacrosse background, as long as you've got that, Bill will take you.
Yep.
So, no, it's super fun game to watch. The kicker. I used to blame kickers.
Yeah, were you one of those types that was a firm believer of you have one job?
Especially being on a football team in college, you quite literally have one job. Now, I respected those guys because they did work hard. There's no doubt about that. Make the kicks. As I've gotten older and matured and really began to understand the game even more, I think, some kickers just flat out miss.
Yeah, I need to stop.
What are you doing over there?
I'm trying to
Turn that
pull
off.
up. I'm trying to pull up ESPN as we're
This
talking.
is horrible. This is terrible. This is why we don't have sponsors.
Yeah, that's what it is.
No, as I've gotten older though, I don't blame kickers as much. Could you imagine having to line one up in front of 90,000? Granted, they're your fans, but that's not an easy task by any means. It's really hard, man. So I give respect to kickers, and who else I want to talk about is those assholes that are sending this kid death threats. You go out there and kick it. Better yet, go see McAfee pregame and see if you can hit a kick when you're going to win $600K. I bet you flub it and knock somebody out who's standing 2 feet away from you.
Yeah, it's tough. It's definitely not an envious position to be in. The only time that they know your name is when something like that happens, right?
And listen, like in golf, the yips are a real thing. Mm-hmm. The yips.
Ask Jake Moody.
Ask Roberto Aguayo. You remember Roberto getting drafted in, the 4th round?
I think it was higher than that. I thought it was the 2nd round.
2nd round, right? You're probably right on that one. Couldn't make a kick in the NFL to save his life. I just truly think some guys get the yips. And it happens. That being said, I do think we are talking about 2 playoff teams here. I don't know if national championship like you're proclaiming.
No, I meant for SEC, final 2 teams in the SEC at the end of the season.
Oh, when you said it, I was like, damn, you're really picking both these boys to go to the chip, huh?
No.
No, I think
at the end of the season, though.
I think we're talking about 2 playoff teams. Shout out Josh Heupel. Shout out Kirby Smart. You both have hella football programs. This was a fun game. This was a lot of fun to watch. And no, I didn't watch it at work.
Yeah. We'll see how the SEC starts killing themselves here over the course of the next couple of weeks.
It really does become a cannibalistic situation in the SEC, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's the dead man walking. It's the Walking Dead, essentially.
You just never know what you're getting into each week once you get into that conference play, man.
Mm-hmm. I feel so bad for Florida fans. I know that they had that tough loss to USF. Their schedule the rest of the year is so brutal.
Not getting any easier.
Number 4 Miami, number 8 Texas, number 10 Texas A&M, number 5 Georgia, number 13 Ole Miss, number 15 Tennessee, number 7 Florida State. Dude,
yeah, casual. Should be a queen sweep all the way to the natty for those boys. They might win 3 games this year.
God damn.
They might win 3 games this year.
That is horrific.
Ugh.
I feel so bad.
Tough.
Okay, but the game that I've been salivating thinking about talking about this game. We did have an upset this week. Well, we had a couple upsets. The upset I want to talk about though this week, Clemson falling at home to the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. I don't even have words to describe how I feel right now about Dabo Swinney and the fucking Clemson thingy-mabobs. Clemson Tigers.
You forgot what they were?
I had a brain fart. Tell me how you come into this season with one of the best, if not the best quarterback in the entire country and have an offense that is so abysmally ran where you have now scored the fewest points through 3 games since 1999.
Bro, it's PJ Fleck with a natty title, right?
Say it a little louder for the people in the back.
PJ Fleck, but with a national title.
And you know what the worst part is? Dabo refuses to... It feels like he refuses to take any accountability of how his team got put into this position. Either. When everybody can very clearly see that He's one of the driving factors.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I think Dabo's come a long way, like I previously said. I don't think he's a bad football coach.
No, wait.
But
Going back to what you said previously and how he was getting into the transfer portal more and whatnot. If I remember correctly, they only had 4 transfers.
which was exponentially more than they had this season before.
They had 9 outgoing and 4 incoming.
I don't want to sit here and say Dabo's a bad football coach, because I think when it comes to X's and O's,
dude, listen to this.
I know.
Oh my God, I keep going further and further back, and I'm getting more and more upset. Dude, this is worse than we thought. Let's go back to 2019. 2019, no transfers. 2020, no transfers. 21, no transfers. 22, 1 transfer. Hunter Johnson, who never played a snap. Or if he did, he didn't play a lot. 23, one transfer. 24, no transfers. 25, 4 transfers.
Progress?
Brother in Christ.
Progress? I don't know. I don't know what else to call it.
What is the expectation? You're losing more talent than that's coming in every single year, and you have these other teams that are playing mucho dollars for their programs. Oregon's spending goddamn $30 to $40 million on their roster this season, and now Clemson's like, we don't need that. Let's rely on a bunch of 18-year-olds that were playing high school football last year, because I know how to develop men, and I know how to develop boys and turn them into men.
Was that your Dabo impression? Was that your Dabo impression?
I don't know. No, it would probably have to sound stupider, because I don't know. More stupid. Sorry for the grammar Nazis out there. The dude's so concerned about running fast down a fucking hill, you can't even put a solid product out on the football field.
You and that hill. No, here's what I'll say, though. Kate, hold on. I get it. Cade Klubnik, I think, is a problem right now. Cade Klubnik is... No, at the end, listen, Cade Klubnik. You have been
blaming
talked about
him over the OC. He's getting majority of the blame.
No, but I think the OC, their play calling has been atrocious the last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
They're putting themselves in bad spots. But at the end of the day, Cade Klubnik, you were a Heisman favorite. People are talking about you as the number 1 quarterback in this class. Go out there and show us that you are. And guess what? All you've shown is that you're not. Cade Klubnik has to take over games. He has to be a gamer. He has to go out there and ball. He hasn't shown it yet.
And there's no room for excuses anymore. It's not like he's a first-year freshman out there. This is, year 4 for him now? He is one of the most experienced quarterbacks in the entire country. And this is what we're putting out there right now?
Yeah. Also, I don't think they have the names they used to on defense by any means, which goes to your recruiting and your transfer portal. 100% agree. But they don't have the star-studded defense they once did.
Dude, going into this season, though, they had what people thought was going to be the best defensive line in the entire country. Where the fuck have they been? They had
MIA.
They had 3 dudes that were considered potential first-round, 2 for sure that were considered first-round locks, and then another one that might be a first-round pick. Where the fuck have they been?
MIA, hanging out on the bench. It's baffling. I think that's why you're so vocal about it. It's why I'm at a loss for words at time about this. This is baffling. Because in the last 10 years, Clemson has been one of the teams. 10 years sounds about right. Has been one of the teams. And so now that they're not, and very clearly not, it's leaving a lot of us who have watched Dabo Swinney programs going, what are you doing? This is not what we are used to seeing from Dabo Swinney.
And it's one of those things, if we continue to keep seeing the same things happen over and over again, there's only one common denominator in that equation, and that
Dabo.
is you as the head coach.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long he's going to be able to continue to sell these rainbows and butterflies out there in Death Valley, but for the amount of money he is getting paid, and for the conference that they are in, they should always be considered a favorite in the ACC. They might finish middle of the pack this season.
And if you're a Clemson fan, that should make you wildly uncomfortable. Should make your ass itch a little bit.
If you're winning 8 and 9 games at Clemson, that should irritate you.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that statement. There are expectations that are not being met.
When you win 2 national titles in the last 10 years, your expectations are higher than what they are achieving right now.
And maybe Clemson needs to realign and take a look at what their real expectations are, because it is very clearly not national championship or bust anymore. It's
No.
God, I hope we're playing for an ACC title. But
Yeah.
are we done shitting on Clemson? Because I do want to flip to the other side here.
No, I was ready to flip to the other side too. We got to sing some praises real quick.
Haynes King. That boy can play some football. That boy can play some football.
If that dude can stay healthy, man, he is so fun to watch. Did you see pregame on game day when he was doing the interview mid warm-ups?
They had a mic doing the warm-up?
Dude, he was literally out there throwing passes, like, straight up and doing an interview. It was so sick.
I think they previewed that last year with SMU's quarterback, and it was a really awkward interview. Was this one awkward again, or was it just one of the coolest things you'd ever seen?
Dude, he gave a great interview. It was awesome.
That's awesome. This kid, though, man, I think more people need to talk about him. I think more people need to have real conversations of he's an absolute dual threat. That offense is set up perfect for him. I mean, 211 yards passing, another 103 on the ground. That's hard to scheme for. And in a weaker ACC, which I think is something we're going to see this year, Duke's down, North Carolina's down. It's just not as tough. Clemson is down. I wonder when we're going to start hearing the whispers of this kid. And I'm not talking about a Heisman favorite, but being in that top 10 list. Having those conversations should be taking place for this guy, especially after you knock off number 12. What was the spread on that one?
I do not know off the top of my head.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew or not, but Haynes King, let's talk more about him in the future, because he's going to be somebody I'm watching.
And we need to talk about Georgia Tech as a whole. We might be looking at the ACC representative in
the playoffs?
December. Dude, you want me to walk you through the rest of their schedule this season?
Hit me.
Temple.
Sure.
Wake Forest.
Okay.
Virginia Tech.
That's a dumpster fire. Another one.
Duke. Syracuse. NC State. Boston College. Pittsburgh. And then they close out the season against Georgia. Which, if they win every game up to that point, that game's not going to fucking matter.
No. You could probably rest the starters, but I'm sure they have more pride than that. If there's a trap game along the way there, I'm going to say Syracuse. If there's a trap game along the way, Syracuse, Fran Brown gets those boys up. He gets them hyped to go play football games.
It's at home. If we're looking trap game, I think we got to be looking November 15th at Boston College. That was my other one.
That was my other one, but again, they don't have Tommy Castellanos anymore, so might be the difference.
But that is such a cakewalk of a schedule.
Yeah, and
the
I
rest
mean
of the season.
the ACC is nowhere near the scheduling power of the SEC, Big 12, or Big 10. They are on the outside looking in, and they know it. And they know it. It's why they implemented the championship game finally, right? After so many years. Um, I think that's a huge reason why. Same with the Big 12. Big 12 never used to have a title game. And then they realized, oh, shit, we got to have a title game to really establish that we're supposed to be there. So
Well, at
shout out
this
Haynes
point,
King
with
and
the
Georgia Tech Rambling Wreck, baby.
but at this point, we gotta talk about it. Like conference titles are almost so irrelevant at this point. Outside of
You're talking grand scheme.
yeah, the grand scheme of it all, like it's not like before when it was 4 teams and you really needed that conference title to like separate you and another team, right? When you have multiple teams from the same conference, like let's say in the SEC, you get Tennessee and Georgia play a rematch in the SEC championship. If they get to that point, they're both making it to the playoff already.
Yes.
So what are we really playing for at that point? It's just another game where key dudes could get injured.
I think well, I don't disagree with you in your analysis of what it looks like in terms of playoffs. Those conference championships are about pride, but they're also massive in recruiting. Hey, we've won the ACC 4 years in a row. We got 4 rings from the ACC. We got trophies. Those things do matter in recruiting. They are selling points. I don't disagree that grand scheme. At some point we are going to see one of these conference champion teams be left out of this thing in favor of an SEC or Big 10 team who was kind of outside looking in, didn't really have a shot at the title, but the voters think that, oh, it's a great team, so we're going to put them in. When that happens, then I think that your comment becomes even more solidified in that.
Oh, just wait. I can already see it in the future. There's going to be a season where there's 2 teams that are already pretty much guaranteed a spot in the playoff, and somebody's going to rest their starters, and people are going to lose their ever-loving minds when that happens.
Yeah, probably. I don't disagree. Grand scheme, they probably don't matter. For me, if I'm on one of those teams, I want to go out there and win my conference, show everybody who the fucking big dog is. So
I get it.
I tell you what, that is a cakewalk. If Georgia Tech can just be consistent and play like they did, I mean, even if they play 75% of their capability of what they did on Saturday against Temple, they're going to win that ball game. I think there is a trap game hiding there, though. I think it's Syracuse.
Definitely.
You think it's BC. That one of those could falter.
And you're also banking on Haynes King to stay healthy for the entire season, too, which is not a foregone conclusion.
He's struggled to do it in the past, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, the Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech. I love that. What a name.
But to one more game that I wanted to touch on, not super in depth, but
Here we go.
Herb, you have some explaining to do because last week was nothing but, let's be honest, it was a glaze. It was a glazing through and through for the UFC Bulls. And then they finally take on a team that I think everybody can finally agree is a top 5 team in the country and got absolutely shellacked.
Throttled. The delay didn't help. But I will own it. I'm always going to own it. Even when I'm wrong, I'm going to own it. I owe Carson Beck an apology. I owe the Miami Hurricanes an apology. Shit, I might write a letter to Mario Cristobal expressing my sentiment of apology. While I was hopeful, I drank the Kool-Aid. Okay, USF, I was all in. I still like them. I still think they're a solid team. But yeah, they got their asses kicked, man. And Carson Beck went out there and again, he's making more throws. He's going downfield more. I'm more impressed with the throws after this week. if anything, he has been consistent. And when NFL teams are going to be looking at what he did this year, along with his previous years, they're going to see a consistent guy that puts the ball in the right spot, who can make big throws but doesn't have to succeed.
And the thing that he'll have to hang his hat on, doesn't lose games.
Doesn't lose games.
How many games did he lose at Georgia? 1, 2?
Yeah, less than 4. I know that much. So
the dude just it might not always be pretty, but he wins games. I do want to shout out Miami might have the best set of freshman wide receivers in the entire country right now. I need to look up what the two dudes' names are. I know one is Tooney, and then
Malachi Tooney, and then but hey, don't leave C.J. Daniels out of it just because he's not a freshman. C.J. Daniels is a big, square-bodied receiver that just likes to go up and get catches in traffic.
And then Joshua Moore had a big game too. Dude, these dudes.
Yeah, they're getting 100-meter track champions in high school out of Dade County, and saying let's go run 80-yard go routes. Carson will put it down there for you.
Yeah, all I know is Miami. They've been hyped up in the past in recent years, and this year it feels different though. I'm getting different vibes from this Miami team. Like, you can see the Orange Bowl's actually rocking a little bit now during home games, which is not something that typically happens in the past. Has happened in the past.
Yeah, I just similar to my comments about South Carolina, which, hey, shout out Vandy. Similar to my comments is Miami's one of those teams that, as of recent, they've been there. They're supposed to be in the mix, and they tend to fall flat, right? While I respect what Miami's doing, I think they are a contender at this point. I'm still kind of hanging on to something's going to fall apart. It's going to be an injury. It's going to be a bad game. One of those games where it's just nothing works. Nothing happened the way it was supposed to, and they flat out lose a game. I'm not like sitting here waiting, hoping for it, but it just feels like that's coming again. Pause.
Yeah, mark your calendar though. 2 weeks, October 4th, Miami takes a trip up to good old Tallahassee.
Ooh.
For what might be a top 5 matchup by then. That might be what decides the ACC right there.
Yeah, it definitely could. It definitely could. Miami is firing on all cylinders. So, and hey, let's give a little credit to that defense. That defense is flying around. That defense is playing extremely well. It is an extremely well-coached defense.
They made UCF's quarterback that you talked very highly of last week look like he was seeing ghosts. He had a tough day out there.
Yeah, and even when he broke out of the pocket and got going with the feet, he was hesitant to lay contact, which he is a shoulder through your chest kind of runner. You didn't see that. He was looking for sidelines. He bailed out of a couple runs that I thought he could get a first down, and he kind of slid on 2 of them. I think he was a bit nervous about playing the University of Miami. Rightfully so, dude, because those dudes are hitters, man. Those dudes are straight killers over there. So, yeah, that's on me. That's on me, Carson.
The other big piece from college football that I need to touch on, or that we just need to quickly highlight, Trinidad Campbell from Ole Miss this week. For those who weren't paying attention, the starter for Ole Miss, Austin Simmons, was injured, so Trinidad Campbell got the call against Arkansas. And you know what he does? Proceeds to throw for 350 yards and run for 62 more and score 3 touchdowns in that game. Or we might have to start talking about the lore of Trinidad Campbell. Because do you know the background of
Tell me about him.
So last season, he played at Division II Ferris State. And he went into that season as the backup. And you know what happens? His number gets called. early in the season. Starter goes down. You know what he does? He takes the reins. He scores 50 touchdowns and leads the Ferris State Bulldogs to a national title, a Division II national title. You know what then happens? Lane Kiffin calls him up. Hey, yo, Trinidad, could use you down here in good old
Oxford.
Oxford. Thank you. We could use you down here in Oxford, And you know what? Packed his bags. He's up there. And guess what? Number gets called, and he delivers. I'm not saying it could happen again, but imagine it did.
It's happened before. It could happen again. Austin Simmons is the guy when he's healthy. The only real comment I have.
He might be telling Austin Simmons to just start prepping for baseball season here shortly.
Hell of a baseball player, too. But here's what I will say about Mr. Trinidad Campbell, okay? Because I don't know much about him.
Sick name.
It's elite name. That's a Madden name for sure. The set of balls on a young man to say, I was a backup at a D2 who happened to get a chance. And then to go from D2 to a ranked premier SEC team and go out there and do that, yeah, I'll buy. It's a hell of a story. It's a hell of a story. I love a good story. 100%.
I like gamers.
We love gamers on this pod. We've said it a lot. He's a dude. He's a gamer. He's a baller. He's a gunslinger. Just don't get too comfortable back there because the second Austin Simmons is back. Or could you imagine if he goes out there and balls against? They've got Tulane next, I believe it is. If he goes out there and balls, there all of a sudden Lane Kiffin has a little bit of a quarterback crisis. So that'll be super interesting. And I think you have to. But what a good position to be in if you're Lane Kiffin. I got this young stud, and then I got this D2 kid who can clearly do it. Lane Kiffin's pretty happy right now. These are good problems to have down in Oxford.
And Herb, I hate to interrupt our scheduled podcasting, but I had to give you a little update on the Monday Night Football game. So it's halftime, Tampa Bay 14, Texans 10. You want to guess who scored another touchdown?
Emeka Egbuka. Did he really?
Dude, this dude is... Yes!
Give him the rookie of the year,
This dude is going to
baby.
be so good.
This
kid is going to be so good.
Dude, he slid into that Chris Godwin role like he'd been doing it for years. If he has two again, that'll probably, I would imagine that's a record for 4 touchdowns in your first 2 games as a rookie receiver. Maybe any rookie. I don't know. We've been singing his praises before we even started this podcast. I've been high on him since the draft. Good for him, dude. And hey, I started him in fantasy this week, so let's fucking get it, baby.
I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. Well, wrap up college football. What do you got for me?
So I want to do a little segment here. Okay, we're through 3 games. It's about a quarter of the season, right? So about every 3-4 games, I'm going to hit you with some hard truths that college football fans need to hear. And I just wanted you to tell me if you believe that, yeah, that is a hard truth, that's going to be a pill to swallow, or I'm talking out of my ass. All right? So the first hard truth, this is going to be focused about defense. The SEC no longer holds the domination over the defensive side of the ball that they once did as a conference. Let me hit you with why. Of the top 20 teams in college football in total defense, the Big Ten has 7 teams represented, while the SEC only has 3. I think that is a tremendous power shift that is happening. Would you agree?
Yeah, I don't know if how highly I can speak of it, but I definitely am not as scared of SEC defenses as I once was.
They used to be a nightmare, and now it's like we can beat these defenses. It's a big shift. It's a very, very big shift. We'll check back in 3 weeks and see if we're still holding true to that. But the next one, we're We're going to focus on a darling of the SEC now, and that's the University of Texas Longhorns. I think you and I have seen enough of it where this hard truth is a truth for me for sure. Texas will not get to Texas will not get to double-digit wins this year.
Oh, that's tough because I actually do like their defense. Kind of backtracking on what we were just talking about.
I get it, but
Arch Manning.
they've
Never
got
a good sign when you are seeing more of him during commercials than you are of him in the end zone.
Correct. I worry about this Texas team now, and I was all in that. I said, you remember it. Texas is ready. Arch Manning's ready. This is a hard pill for me to swallow, but the way that they're playing, I don't see it. They've got the Red River rivalry coming up against OU, luckily. I think that's a game that they always get hyped for. I think that's a game they get hyped for. I think they need a game like that. But if they come out of the other side looking like doo-doo, then this hard truth is a real truth. But they've got OU. They've got Vandy coming to visit. They go to Georgia, and the last week of the year they host Texas A&M, who seems to be skyrocketing. It's going to be really hard if Texas plays like this to get to double-digit wins for me. All right.
Are you on the boat of Arch Manning's injured?
I don't think he's healthy. I think he's hurt. I don't know that he's injured. But you're the University of Texas. If he can't go, you're telling me you don't have a number 2 that can go?
The expressions that I'm seeing out of this kid after he's throwing the ball does not invoke confidence. And the way that, I don't know how closely you've been watching Texas, he will just have some mind-boggling, what the fuck type of mechanics all of a sudden. He won't be coming over the top. He'll just try and sidearm, whip it in there. It's just, I don't know. When we watched him last season, he did not look like this. So I don't know what exactly is going on with Arch, but I think us as fans in general, all of us fans might have gotten it wrong. I think we were hyping up the wrong quarterbacks at the beginning of this season. We're hyping up Arch Manning. We're hyping up Cade Klubnik. We're hyping up
Avery
Garrett
Johnson.
Nussmeier hasn't played. Avery Johnson. Garrett Nussmeier hasn't been playing out of his mind like we thought he would. But then
Sellers.
These under the radar dudes. You got Sellers hasn't been playing well, but then you got under the radar dudes like John Mateer. Carson Beck is looking really good. We might have just gotten it wrong at the beginning of this season when we look back at it.
And I don't think we're the only ones that were feeling that way. I don't think we are at all.
No.
All right, another hard truth. Football in Florida is back. Everywhere except for Gainesville. That is a hard truth. That's a hard pill to swallow for the Gator faithful. But you look at it. USF came out swinging. Miami, hot. Florida State has bounced back. UCF is playing decent football. I can't speak to FAU and FIU, but there's something in the water down in Florida right now. I think college football is better for it, but there's football in Florida, and it is back, baby. But not for the Gators.
No, not for the Gators at all, which is kind of crazy. I'll tell you a story that I saw on social media this week about Florida. It was I don't remember if it was an insider, but it was somebody that was knowledgeable of college football. And they were trying to diagnose what was wrong at Florida. What's going on with Billy Napier down there, right? And they say, you go down there and you would think this is a Georgia, an Alabama. This is a well-run university.
It is a blue-chip football program. It is a blue-chip football program.
He was saying how they are doing everything behind the scenes that all of these top-tier teams are doing. But the difference is, for whatever reason, it's not carrying over to Saturdays. But he's like, if you took all the names off the walls, all the logos off the walls, and walked in here, you would assume this is a top 5 program in the entire country with the way that they are operating. and something's just not clicking.
They've had a head coaching problem for a long time there. Billy Napier is one of these coaches at risk of losing his job mid-season. Just like Virginia Tech just cut theirs and UCLA just cut theirs. I worry about Billy Napier. I worry about Billy.
It's not an if, it's a when at this point.
I think so too. And again, you talked about they have one of, if not the hardest schedule in college football coming up. It's not going to be fun, Florida fans, and I'm sorry. Swallow that pill, retool, reset, get you a new head coach. And it sucks because I like Billy Napier. It's not getting it done. All right, a couple more hard truths.
Name to watch if that spot opens up though.
Who's that?
The guy that just took him out in Gainesville goes by the name of Alec Golish.
Mm-hmm.
His name to watch.
His name's already flying all over the place. We'll get into that. No, hey, there's a lot of season left. We're going to be talking some head coaching moves here pretty quick, I feel like.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Couple more hard truths, all right? Last episode, we said USF is the best group of 5 school. You lost, you don't get to hold that title. Tulane is now the best group of 5 school out there, led by Retzloff, the BYU transfer. Kids balling. Tulane looks good. Huge test. Going to Ole Miss this weekend.
When do we need to start talking about him in conversations?
I think he should have been there based on
Retzloff.
I think it should have been there. It was there last year. I think it should have carried over just because of the transfer. I don't care. Dude's a stud. And listen, BYU likes their freshman quarterback right now, okay? But God forbid the quarterback get a little motion and go see his lady friend, all right? School code, yeah, I get it. BYU, okay? BYU, I think.
I get school code at BYU if you're Mormon. The kid's not even Mormon.
He's Jewish.
Why does he have to be held? Why does he have to be held to the same standards? Just because Joseph Smith has said that you couldn't have sex before marriage.
Because it's Brigham Young's name on the side of the stadium. That's why.
Yeah.
All right. Two more truths.
Dog, though.
All right. Let's switch over to the Big Ten. Hard truth to swallow for Big Ten fans is the Big Ten is a 2-horse race right now, and one of those teams is not Penn State. I think this is an Ohio State, Oregon, clear-cut 2-horse race. God bless Penn State. They're going to fall apart at some point. This is a 2-horse race. That's a hard truth right there.
I don't know if I can agree with you there. I think if it's a 2-horse race, I think it's Oregon, Penn State. I think Ohio State would be the team that falls off. I like Jim Knowles as the new defensive coordinator down there in Happy Valley. Or no, College Station. No, what am I?
You're talking about Penn State?
Thinking of Penn State.
It's Happy Valley.
Happy Valley? Oh, was it?
Yeah.
No, I was right. Okay.
Stick to your guns, young man.
You saw what he did with Ohio State's defense the last couple seasons. That defense is going to hold strong. It's going to come down to whether or not James Franklin can get out of his own goddamn way when it comes to these high-level matchups later in the season.
There it is. It's a hard truth.
That's what always seems to get them.
All right, last hard truth. And we're going to stick with one of those teams. We're going to go all the way up there to Eugene, Oregon. You familiar with their quarterback, Dante Moore?
I am.
Highly touted, highly recruited, highly successful quarterback. A hard truth to swallow is that Dante Moore could very well be the number 1 quarterback in next year's class. Crazy, I know, but here's the stats. 50 of 64, 657 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 pick. The guy has not been making bad decisions. He's mobile. He's creative. Obviously, Dan Lanning, I think, is one of, if not the greatest head coach in college football right now. I think Dante Moore needs to be talked about more. I think by the end of the year he will be. The hard truth is that Dante Moore is the best quarterback playing out there right now.
He just might be. Him and John Mateer.
Yep, and that's no disrespect to Mateer. Mateer, I've still got Heisman top of that list. Dante Moore is going to start creeping up. Pay attention for him.
If he has a Heisman moment in a couple weeks against Penn State, might be wraps.
Maybe. But hey, what a fun weekend of college football across the board. We did have a couple of upsets. Most of the top 25 pulled it out. Yeah, college football is going to be really fun this year because I don't think we have a clear outlook on what this playoff looks like yet.
Yeah, I don't think the top teams have really separated themselves as of yet.
Not yet.
Wide open.
And listen, it's still early. A lot of this is overreaction type stuff. But this is where we're at. I think when we're not talking about
for.
Pretty much, that's why we're here. So it's going to be fun, man. I don't know who's going to be in the playoff. I don't know who's winning the national championship. Let's get weird with it late in the year, huh?
I was going to take a peek ahead to next week because you and I, we have a little matchup on Saturday.
Okay, listen. You're from Minnesota. You went to college in Iowa. Okay, just because you married a skur doesn't mean you are a skur. And I swear to God, if when we film later this week, if I see you wearing big red stuff, I will fly to North Carolina and come beat your little ass. All right? I want to see it. I'm going to stay off the Michigan stuff. I won't wear it. But if I see a red N anywhere on the screen next week, we're fighting.
You know definitely how to egg me on. So you know what I'm definitely going to be doing on Thursday's episode.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Go Big Red can go suck my butt. Okay? Biff Poggi is going to have the Bellways ready to go. And if you didn't hear, we got Batman in the back. All right? Batman. He balled out, bro. He balled out. Bryce Underwood balled the fuck out. It's Central Michigan. He balled the fuck out.
Okay, can I say the same thing about Dylan Raiola last week then? Or the week before that?
Did he throw for over 200 and then rush for an additional 120?
No. Last week he had a modest 220 because they pulled him at halftime and 2 touchdowns. The week before that, he had almost 400 yards and 4 touchdowns.
But can he do it on the ground? Is he a dual threat? Nope.
No.
He's a goddamn Pinterest Patrick Mahomes, an Etsy Patrick Mahomes. Okay, I like Raiola. Don't get me wrong, but this week, fuck Nebraska, fuck Matt Rule. I'm out on him just for this week. Go Blue.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the bulletin material's there for the Huskers. Sherrod Moore didn't think this game was important enough to be on the sideline for. Willingly chose for this to be one of the games that he was suspended for. To put the disrespect on the Cornhuskers? Bulletin board material. That's all I gotta say.
Can't wait for us to win by 3 scores.
As if. Okay. But very well in the range of outcomes. Okay. College football, over and done with. Move on to NFL. So, or rather than jumping just from game to game, right? Unless there are a couple games. I think, actually, let me backtrack. I think we got to start in Kansas City.
Oh, boy, I wish you would.
Because the alarm bells have to be going off at this point. There has to be anarchy in the streets. There has to be pandemonium out there. Because it sure as hell seems like the sky is falling.
The question I have is Patrick alone enough? He is an incredible talent at quarterback. He is the $500 million man. Is he enough? I just don't know anymore.
It's the definition of when we get into these arguments of oh, it's one player can't win a game. It's a team sport, blah, blah, blah. And everybody always, like, puts that in, like, the back of their mind when they're talking about, like, best quarterbacks of all time, right? Tom Brady isn't winning 7 Super Bowls without some of those defenses that he had with him, right? Like, he had the supporting weapons, right? Football is the one sport where you cannot win 1v11. Just because you are Patrick Mahomes does not guarantee you anything. Nobody is disagreeing that he is one of the most talented quarterbacks on this entire planet. But when you are giving him a rundown Kareem Hunt, a Pacheco that has no explosion, you have a dude that's suspended because he's a fucking idiot. You have another one that breaks his collarbone in week 1, and then all you leave him with is a 36-year-old Travis Kelce and Hollywood Brown. And then you wonder, it's like, I don't know how this happened. This is such a surprise. It's not a surprise.
No.
Everybody could have fucking told you this was going to happen.
It's a tough watch. Now, there are a couple comments that were made about this game, okay? And it surrounds the big one, the tush push. We got to talk about the tush push, okay? Because now you have guys like Dean.
Let's preface this by saying I think we both are completely okay with the tush push being in the game. It's the fact that they are not calling the play as it should on the field between the guards getting a jump on the snap, the entire offensive line lining up in the fucking neutral zone.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I think it's fucking pissing everybody off, because it's clear as day, especially if you're a line judge looking right down the line. Call it.
Yeah, they're getting away with it. It's not
that they're better at running it. Sorry.
No.
It's not the fact that they're better at running it. It's the fact that it's just not being called. You're
Correct.
not even giving the defense a chance.
Correct. And God forbid a D lineman line up anywhere near the nose of the football and they get a neutral zone infraction for it. But and this speaks to the Eagles. Where's Devontae Smith? Where's A.J. Brown? Well, they're not involved because you're run with Saquon, or check down to Goddard, and then you're 4th and 1 and we tush push and we reset and run the whole thing over again. It's not fun to watch from a fan standpoint. And then you've got guys like Dean Blandino, who he works for Fox now, former VP of NFL officiating, saying he's out on it. You can't officiate it. You cannot officiate it properly. That's an issue for me. If that's coming from the former VP and that is the sentiment in the NFL refereeing office, that's tough. There's a lot of folks that have come out and said now that they believe that after this season, the tush push will be killed. I think there's a time and a place when you are on the goal line on the 1 and you got to have it. I get it. Okay. But we're in the tush push on 4th and 1 on our own 35. That's tough for me to watch as a fan. So, yeah, dude, I think the Chiefs could easily go 0-5 in a hurry. Bounce back, but 0-5 in a hurry.
I think they have a couple easy games finally.
Yeah, check that
coming up.
Jamie, look that up.
Yeah, they got the Giants. This week. If they lose that game,
which is apparently not an easy win anymore.
Yeah, if the Chiefs lose that one, it could get bad, because then they got the Ravens. Jaguars, I don't know what to make of them still. Lions.
If they can't move the ball, on the ground in any capacity, which is exactly what we're seeing, they're going to go 0-5. Maybe 0-4. Maybe they sneak one out against Jacksonville. But they should be worried about the Giants this week. KC fans, don't kid yourself of, it's the Giants. Go back and watch the game against the Cowboys, which I understand the Cowboys are not a great team right now. Go back and watch that game. There's fight in the Giants right now. they've got a little gumption. They got a little fight in them.
Yeah, they're counting down the days until Rashee Rice is back. Because, god damn, the reinforcements can't come soon enough there.
And, dude, maybe that's the difference. Maybe that is the difference. But it is bleak in Kansas City at the given moment.
I think, honestly, it's going to take more than just that, though, in my opinion.
Yeah. Real quick, before we get off that game, okay, I want to start by saying I respect Chris Jones. I could never have blocked anybody of Chris Jones' caliber in my entire career. Chris Jones is an absolute talent. He's a Ring of Honor member, in my opinion, for the Kansas City Chiefs. But his bitch-made comments to Jalen Hurts at the end of that game were exactly that, bitch-made. Well, you don't even have 100 yards. Look at the scoreboard, motherfucker. Don't run your mouth when you're losing. I hate that. And Chris Jones is a professional. Chris Jones has been around a long time. He knows better than that. You don't get to run your mouth like that when you're getting your ass kicked.
I'll be honest, I have absolutely no problem with it. I love the response from Jalen Hurts, though. It was the most subtle. Who fucking cares we're winning? I think is what he said. Something along those lines.
And dude, that's kind of the
snaps the ball and takes to the knee or whatever.
That's kind of the mentality in Philadelphia right now. Don't give a shit. We're winning games. Don't care. We win.
And when do we get... Okay, with that being said, when do we get to become Jalen Hurts haters? Because
I don't think
that
ever.
Dude is a walking Pinterest caption. That dude is a walking Pinterest caption. He is trying his hardest to come up with these fucking things to say in the media. Like,
yeah.
A reporter asked him about, Devontae came down really hard on his back, and then Jalen Hurts responds back, and then he really came up in the clutch, or some shit like that. And I was like, this is the cringiest shit I've ever heard.
Do we need to worry about Jalen becoming catchphrase Russ? Is that what we need to worry about?
I don't know. Maybe.
Broncos country. That's right. Yeah. In terms of that,
classic though.
Jalen, just be you, bro. Like one of the coldest moments was that Nike ad, the Love Hurts Nike ad after the Super Bowl. Ride that swag wave, okay? Don't try to be doing all this extra shit. Ride that swag wave. Take a book out of Lamar's page. Lamar Jackson's one of the swaggiest quarterbacks out there. That's a fact. He doesn't say a whole lot in the media. He goes out there and says, I play for my guys, I play my game, we're going to go out there and win. Be that guy. Don't be catchphrase Russ, please.
Other game, got to touch on, since we gave a little preview on this one as well.
We
might have been a little bit quick on the trigger, ruling out Detroit's defense or offense after week 1.
I got to own this one. Do you remember what I said? Do you remember what I said last week?
No, wait. Yeah, play the clip right here. Perfect. Okay, now continue. If Ben Johnson comes out here with anything less than a dominating victory, I'll be damned.
I'm damned. I'm damned to high hell, brother. Holy cow. What a demoralizing loss. What a kick straight to the balls. Absolutely. Bro.
Dude, I am sorry. Fucking Dan Campbell, and I know this is going to get graphics for some of the listeners out there. He pulled out his Johnson, figuratively and literally, on that field and just slapped it across the Chicago Bears for 48 minutes.
Chicago.
Can we talk? Is Caleb Williams bad? What happened? Is Caleb Williams bad?
I got a big old shit sandwich to sit here and eat with this one. I really do. I said Caleb's going to be fine.
Tell me, is Caleb Williams bad? Can we have
He's not good.
on the scale,
He's
right?
not good.
On the scale of 0 to 100 on the odds that Tyson Badgett will be getting starts.
I don't.
Where are we falling? Because it is not a net non-zero chance at this point.
I just feel like such an idiot. I'm a fucking Bears believer. I feel like such a fucking idiot after that game. I feel so dumb. And listen, this is clear-cut evidence, folks, that you should not listen to me ever. Okay? This was so bad. It was so bad. They got the piss pounded out of them. I don't care on the Caleb Williams side. I don't care that they couldn't run the ball. I don't care that the defense was made of Swiss cheese. Ben Johnson, how did you wake up yesterday morning after that and look yourself in the mirror and go, we did everything we could to prepare for that game? So what I'm saying is that I don't understand how Ben Johnson doesn't get those boys up for this game, because you had a chance to prove that you were the guy in Detroit. And guess what now? All the success Detroit has had is accredited to Dan Campbell, not Ben Johnson. So it's a shame. I'm not a Bears believer anymore, by the way.
What was your opinions on, did you think Detroit was running up the score like on purpose, or it was just how the game kind of unfolded at the end?
A bit of both, to be honest with you. I think Dan Campbell wanted to. We talked about in the preview. Dan Campbell wanted to solidify that, the Detroit Lions are my team. We win games. We went 15-2 last year because of me. This is my team, not Ben Johnson's team. But also, Ben Johnson put it the best in his post-game presser. What did you expect them to do? They go for it on fourth. They don't kick. This is who they are. I don't expect them to change who they are because it's me and this piss-poor Cubs team. I'm not even going to call them a Bears team. They're fucking Cubs at this point. Okay? I don't mind it. I'm not mad about it like a lot of people are. I think it's just the reality of it. And if I'm, you know how you stop having that conversation? Don't get your head kicked in like you did.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I think the perfect tweet I saw that encapsulated Chicago Bears fans at this point. I think it was from a Detroit Lions fan account, and it was just like Packers, Lions, Vikings. It's literally just taking turns with the Chicago Bears.
Yep. Unfortunately,
just passed around toy.
That's so bad.
So yeah, but you know what you hear there in your headset right now? That's a collective sigh of relief from all Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams fantasy owners, because I think they were ready to sound all of the alarms after week 1.
Yep. And like you said, that offense needed to become more dynamic like it was. They did. Mm-hmm. So whoever on the Lions staff listens to the podcast, first and foremost, appreciate it. Second of all, give us a call. We got a lot of ideas.
I can do numbers real well.
I know how to draw X's and O's on a board. It doesn't make sense, but I know how to draw them up there.
If nothing else, we could give some crazy pep talks, I'm sure.
I'll get your pee hot.
But next thing, Herb, I want to talk about. We might need to start having conversations about kickers and their odds to win most valuable player. Because if there is a player that might deserve it, it is Brandon Aubrey of the Dallas Cowboys. The things that this dude is fucking doing is absurd. So for those who don't know what I'm talking about right now, so we went 4 for 4 on field goals on Sunday against the Giants, including a 64-yard field goal to go to overtime, which set the record for longest field goal to send a game to overtime in NFL history. And then on top of that, then he hits a game-winning 46-yard field goal to win the game. This dude, you can trot him out there with confidence from 60-plus at this point, dating back to last season. It is crazy what this dude is doing.
Yeah, and we don't often see it, right? The last one was Tucker, right? What are we doing?
Sorry, I had to try and look up his stats.
Have you ever considered there's a mute button at the bottom?
Then I mute you.
Get your life together.
It's a catch-22 I'm in.
I guess. But no, we get one of these every 8 years, right? Tucker was the last one. We all know what happened there. Dude likes massages. It was Gutskowski. Before that, it was Seabass, Vinatieri. Like, you start to get these dudes. Brandon Aubrey solidifying himself is like, that's that kicker that he's not missing. He can go out there and bang it from anywhere. And then you talk about kickers, and then Jake Moody and Young Wei Koo lose their jobs this week. It's just like polar opposites. Dude, shout out Brandon Aubrey. Dude's got ice in his veins. He's got a fucking boot.
Dude, can I tell you what his career stats are from 50 plus?
What's the percentage?
He's 27 of 30.
Jesus. From 50?
Okay? He's making 90% of his kicks from 50 plus yards.
Yeah. Dude,
fuck?
These kickers nowadays, man. These kickers nowadays, they're freaks. And they've all got a boot. Shout out Brandon Aubrey.
He is more likely to miss a kick from between 30 to 39 than he is a 50-yarder.
That's a dude that you'd like to have on your team because he shows up when you need him most. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Crazy. And this dude was playing soccer 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Hey, but you said, when did we start talking about kickers for MVP, right? I don't quote me, please, but I'm fairly certain I read this. A kicker has won the NFL MVP.
Yes.
A wide receiver has not.
Yeah, I think his name was Tom Dempsey, kicked for the
Redskins,
Saints.
Correct?
Redskins or Saints.
I think he won it with the Redskins back in the day.
Yeah, it was like 1971.
Yep.
And I think it was a shortened season, too.
Which is crazy. I don't think a kicker's ever going to get back there. But, I mean, right now, Brandon Aubrey is the Dallas Cowboys, to be honest with you. He is everything. Real quick, did you see the clip of the African-American Cowboys fan after the game getting interviewed?
No. Oh, yeah.
He comes storming up, and he goes, Brandon Aubrey can say it, bro. Brandon Aubrey can say it, all right? He gets the pass. So shout out Brandon Aubrey getting his card. Congrats, buddy.
But, dude, just kickers in general, it is crazy the improvement that we've seen out of kickers in the last decade. Because remember in the early 2000s, like, if you could kick a 50-yarder, it was like, that was great to have on your team. Like, it was a super beneficial to have. But if you were kicking like 75, 80% from 40 plus, like, you were top of your game type of thing. Now, if you can't make a 50-yard field goal, you're not even getting a tryout for any of these teams. And when you're a really good kicker like Aubrey or Boswell or Elliott's starting to figure it back out again, they're trying them out with confidence from 55 plus.
Yep.
And what that does too, and with your offense and with the new kickoff rules too, where you either get the ball at the 35 or we're getting so many returns now that are getting you up near the 40, 50-yard line, you only have to go another 15 yards to give yourself a chance at points.
Yeah, so to your point on that, right? Who would you say is the best kicker in NFL history? I've got mine pretty well solidified.
I mean, I probably... Are we talking like just like overall leg talent?
GOAT kicker. Who is the greatest person to kick in the NFL of all time? For me, it's Adam Vinatieri.
I would say Justin Tucker if he didn't have all of his shit going on.
Sure. For an example, Adam Vinatieri in a lot of circles I think would be considered there. His longest is 57, and his second longest is 55. Brandon Aubrey warms up at 55. Mm-hmm. That's the difference.
That's a chip shot for him. Actually.
Yeah, that's a casual Thursday night for him. And that's not knocking Vinatieri again. I truly believe that Adam Vinatieri is the greatest kicker to ever kick in a football game. But Brandon Aubrey warms up with your long.
Dude, I would not be surprised if before he retires, he's 30 already, like he's older, but I would not be shocked in the slightest if he hits a 70-yarder.
It has to be at home or in Denver, one of the two. I just don't see it going any other way.
He's already hit a 65-yarder. What's 5 extra yards?
Yeah, fuck it. Throw him back there. I'm sure he has hit those in warm-ups. Hitting it in a game is a lot different.
Yeah, but I would not be shocked. It's crazy. But then the other big news that we got to touch on, it's taking the NFL by storm today. Terrible news coming out of Cincinnati. Our guy, Joe Burrow, out for at least 3 months, it sounds like.
3 to 6.
First off, do you have any experience with turf toe? Can you try and explain to me what turf toe is? I've never heard of somebody having to be out for 3 months with a turf toe. So sure. I would like some insight if possible.
So a lot of people think that turf toe is like, oh, you stubbed your toe really bad, right? Mm-hmm. Turf toe is an actual sprain or tear of the ligament that holds your big toe on the underside. Okay? So typically it is non-surgical because typically that tendon can handle that kind of torque to it. Like if you can stand on your tippy toes and be just fine, right? It's because of that tendon. Your big toe accounts for like 80% of your balance in terms of weight distribution. So without it, you're in a bad spot. So normally it's a sprain of that. And that's when you're talking about 2 weeks in a walking boot. We'll see how it feels, but it lingers. It's not an easy thing to heal because it's your foot. You use your foot every day, right? It's not a shoulder that you can lock in or an elbow or something like that. You're going to be in a boot, and there's always going to be pressure on it. While I have never torn it or sprained it necessarily, I've broken both of my big toes from being stepped on. I will tell you that's unenjoyable. And from what I understand from those who have had turf toe that I know personally, it is very painful. It ended Jimmy Clausen's career. You remember Jimmy Clausen?
I think Jimmy Clausen might have ended his own career.
Well, that's fair too, but definitely, he had 2 or 3 different surgeries on the same toe, and it couldn't get right. It just wouldn't heal right. I'm not saying that's for Joe Burrow, and people saying it's a stubbed toe, get back out there. It's on his right foot, as I understand it. That's his plant foot. There's going to be no power. It sucks. They're in a bad spot right now, and Joe Burrow's it's got to be killing him because the guy's a competitor.
I think part of it that got people like, oh, you wussy type of thing. Because when you watch it, it seemed like a ho-hum play. Like, just your average mill of the, play that you see every single Sunday. Probably multiple times every single Sunday. And then to have the severity that we're hearing now, I think that's what's catching people off guard. Because, just like me, for example, I have no idea what turf toe is. I've always thought it's more of an inconvenience than it is anything else, right? One of those injuries that you should be able to play through. But when you put it in perspective like that,
I would say 90% of the time you're 100% correct. This is going to be one of those times where that ligament tore.
Yeah. So
he's going to go in and have surgery, and I don't anticipate Joe Burrow being back this year.
Dude,
because
it's tough.
These things tend to linger.
He's had such bad luck with injuries in his career. It's really stunted that.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? I'm gonna. This is a damnation of things that we've talked about with the Bengals. Bad franchises, bad programs make bad decisions. You know what was a real bad decision? Saying we got Joe Burrow back and now we're going to put 5 shit ass O linemen in front of him. Dude, the tweet that I saw was there's 100 million obese people in the United States, and the Bengals can't find 5 of them to block for him. No, it's bad, dude. It's
a fat shame. Not to fat shame.
Listen, I'm fat. I can call it that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call it that. I'm gonna continue to call it that. No, dude, it sucks. And my question to you is, where do they go from here?
That's a good question because I don't know about you, but I had seen on social media How is it every single time Joe Burrow gets injured, and Jacob Browning has to go into the game? It feels like that offense still continues to operate at the same level. Yes, there's more mistakes, like he is more prone to throw interceptions, but he's still pressing the ball downfield. Like, their offense is not changing in the slightest to coddle him when he goes in that game. They put up how many points with Jake Browning once he entered that game on Sunday?
But again, Jake Browning's a pro. He's not a rookie. Jake Browning's been around for a little bit.
There's 64 pros if you count all starting quarterbacks and their backups, and I struggled to get past 35, naming 35 quarterbacks of which I have confidence in.
Yeah, I think he understands its system. He's been brought up in that system. He knows what to do. He's a great backup. He is great for Joe Burrow. He knows his role, and this is part of it, right? I think he's going to be a long-time career backup. He's going to be a lot like Chase Daniels. You remember Chase running around out there for 15 years, right? If they're going to rely on Browning to win, though, it's going to go through T. Higgins and not Jamar. T. Higgins is elated that Jake Browning is the quarterback. T. Higgins is probably worried that they're going to go out and get another quarterback, and his touches are going to go down because the connection between Browning and Higgins kept them alive.
You know who is anxiously waiting by their phone right now?
I've got a few names for you.
Kirk Cousins is he is salivating at the opportunity there in Cincinnati right now.
But does he like the situation in San Fran more? I don't know.
I don't know either. But
we
know the name that could be really fun in Cincinnati?
I know exactly who you're going to be talking about. A guy who lives on a steady diet of W's, baby.
Dude, if Jameis Winston got traded to Cincinnati, Jamar Chase would break every single receiving record, and he would probably lap it. It would just be 50-yard bombs down to Jamar Chase every single drive.
So you like Winston, huh?
Oh my God, it would be electric.
It very well could be. They would throw a lot of picks. So
many. But Jacob Browning does it too. So,
and I mean, who better? And people joke on Jameis for all his goofy shit. At the end of the day, Jameis is a leader of men. There's no question about that. So if you need somebody to step into that role, yeah, Jameis can be that guy. Just know that there's going to be bumps along the way. But let me hit you with a couple other names that have been flying around there, and I just want you to give me a yeah, you could see it or no chance. Ready? Mm-hmm. You already said Winston. You already said Cousins. Those are great. AR-15, Anthony Richardson, who I don't think should be anywhere near this conversation, but his name is flying around.
No, it's an immediate no. If the Bengals' goal is a championship, you're not going to throw in Anthony Richardson and be like, yeah, this dude's going to save this season.
Correct. Like, and that also puts you in a terrible spot in the future.
Like, Cincinnati has the weapons. All they need is somebody who can get them the ball. You know who can't get them the ball? Anthony Richardson. Because he can't complete a fucking pass.
And he'll probably quit halfway through the second quarter.
If you're lucky.
Who said that? All right. Here's another guy who I had said should probably go take the San Francisco job while Purdy's out, but clearly they think they can do it with Mac Jones. Ryan Tannehill sitting at home. One of the greatest game managers to ever do it in terms of just not making mistakes. Go out there, dink and dime, put the ball in the right spot. Ryan Tannehill.
Don't hate it.
Don't hate it.
See that one.
Don't hate it. Sam Howell.
Nope, I hate it. He's actually a horrific NFL quarterback.
I would agree. His name's been thrown around, and while I can appreciate it, he's not. I would rather go with Browning at this point than Sam Howell.
Yeah. Okay, here's the better question. Would you take Browning. So you're gonna take Browning over him. Would you take Browning over Pickett?
Like to play on Sunday, this coming Sunday.
Just
Uh,
in general, right?
in the long term, I don't know. To be honest, I think that's a great comparison. I think they're right here with one another. I think Browning's probably got he's got the connection already. He's got a better understanding of the playbook, the audibles, how this thing flows. So I'll go Browning. But that's a real intriguing one. I hadn't thought about Kenny Pickett. All
What
right.
about
What about Trey Lance?
Brown? Nope, I'm starting Browning again.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm only saying that because of the expectations that
Yep.
Cincinnati has. They're not going to go in and get a guy that they're not positive of. It's going to be a dude that's gone in there and proven it at an NFL level
And
already.
I think it's got to be a vet. I think it's somebody who can game manage, who can make good decisions. There's one more name. There's one more name, buddy.
Mac
You ready?
Jones.
No. No. San Fran's keeping Mac Jones for until Purdy's back.
Yeah, fair enough.
We said we love stories here, right? We love a good story.
Oh, the Red Rocket.
Andy Dalton comes home. I want this to happen.
I'm coming home.
Mm-hmm.
Tell the world I'm coming
home. If they foresee Joe's done for the year, which again I think is the case, unfortunately. Okay, why rush this back? There's unless you're in a playoff hunt, and even then it's going to be sketchy.
You got too much money tied up on him to try and rush him back.
Exactly. Andy Dalton or Ryan Tannehill. Those are my two picks. I love the Jameis pick because it'd be a lot of fun. But if you want to go out there and compete, win games, I truly believe Andy Dalton could do that with that offense. And I don't think Cincinnati fans would bat an eyelash at it. I bet you there would be a banner Andy Dalton back hanging over Paul Brown Stadium.
Yeah, but I don't know since he's going to do it. I could see them fully
just riding Browning,
just rolling. Yeah, I mean, with him as a starter, they're 4-4. If you go, luckily they've actually started this season off with wins, unlike previous seasons being 2-0. If they go 500 the rest of the way, that's 10 wins. That probably gets you in the playoffs.
They do not have another quarterback on roster, on active. P Squad. Brett Ripon.
Desmond Ritter. Yeah, Brett Ripon, and then they did have Desmond Ritter there this preseason, but I think
according to this, he is not there. Brett Ripon is their guy.
Hey, you know who needs a new jersey? I think.
Who's that?
Josh Johnson. I think we need. I don't think he's played for the Bengals yet.
I think he has. I'm pretty sure he has.
I don't know if he has.
He's out there collecting Infinity Stones, baby. Can you imagine what that dude's man cave at home looks like?
I thought he already achieved that.
That dude is. Hey, shout out to a PFL legend, though.
Yeah, he has played for Cincinnati.
He's a Pioneer Football League Hall of Famer, hands down. Josh Johnson out of University of San Diego.
Shout out.
You know who his coach was there?
Nope.
Jim Harbaugh.
Oh, actually?
Yeah, Harbaugh was a PFL guy.
Crazy. The more you know.
Hell yeah. Hey,
and then, sorry.
Go ahead.
Put the finishing touches on your Joe Burrow.
It is wildly unfortunate because of where that offense was at outside of the offensive line. But if this isn't a wake-up call for that coaching staff and that front office, that O-line, you have to do what the Vikings did. You have to go spend money. You have to spend draft picks. It's an absolute must right now. This whole thing was predicated by poor decision-making by that front office. You reap what you sow, unfortunately, and Joe's paying the price.
Yeah, all I can think about every time Joe Burrow gets injured is that picture of a quarterback throwing a ball, and then they have a lineman, and it's like player A, player B, and it's a completed pass because you have a blocker in front of you. and then it's another picture where same thing, but then the lineman falls over and the quarterback gets sacked and you can't complete it. And the names on it are the receiver is Jamar Chase, and then the lineman was Penei Sewell because that's who the decision was back during that draft. I wonder how many Bengals fans I know. Oh, nobody's complaining about having Jamar Chase on their team. I find it hard to believe there's not a couple of Bengals fans out there that are thinking, man, it might have been kind of nice to have Penei Sewell protecting Joe
Yeah,
Burrow's blind side.
I get it. It's Jamar Chase. You know what I mean? Like, I get it.
Yeah.
It's Jamar Chase. So, hey, but do me a favor. Tell me about some guys that we've talked a lot about guys we like, right? Tell me about some stinkers from week 3.
Okay, we have to call out the dumbass of the week, Caleb Johnson.
Or rewind. Week 2. I fucked that up. We're in week 2.
Either way, he's still dumbass of the week, Caleb Johnson. How do you put a dude as your kick returner and he doesn't even know the rules of a kickoff? The ball goes right through his hands. First off, red flag. Can't even see the ball into his hands. But then just in the most nonchalant way ever, just turn around and start walking to the sideline while you have a live ball in the end zone is just unfathomable. Somebody has to lose their job over this.
And
I'm sorry.
And there's a good chance it's Caleb Johnson.
No, they can't get rid of him. He was a second-round pick this year, but they hate him in Pittsburgh.
Cut to the P squad, brother.
That dude has had an awful 2 weeks to start his.
It was a special teams blunder last week.
Yeah, he had a fumble on the kickoff last week, and then this week he has this. It turns into automatic points.
At the very least, Caleb Johnson won't lose his roster spot, but he's going to be taken off of kick return.
Which is not saying a lot because that was the only time he was sniffing the field to begin with.
Hey, real quick, let me check my. Where did he go to college?
Somewhere in the Midwest, if I'm not mistaken.
Big Ten. Oh, University of Iowa. Shocker.
Motherfuckers always find their way into our podcast.
Always.
And what do we have to say about that?
Fuck them.
Fuck them. If the world burns and there is only one podcast left, you know damn well I'm going down. Fuck the Hawkeyes.
Till I'm dead. Yeah, Caleb Johnson was the worst of it.
The other clunker of the week that we have to call out, and it's so disheartening to say because they were so fun in week 1. Justin Fields. We thought we saw it bad when he was playing in Chicago, and we saw some piss-poor performances. But what we saw on Sunday might take the cake without any question. One of the worst performances I've seen out of an NFL quarterback in a long time. This might go up there with Mike Glennon throwing, or Nathan Peterman throwing 5 interceptions in the first half. I know he didn't turn the ball over that much, but he might as well have.
See, and I'm not going to bail on Fields yet. It was bad. Let's have a bounce back this week. Let's get right. Show flashes. I think there was a little bit of a hangover from the hype of Aaron coming back to New York week 1. Let's see how he bounces back. I'm going to give him another chance, but it wasn't good. It was not good.
Yeah, for those who lived under a rock this weekend, he finished 3 of 11 for 27 yards in a passer rating of 39.7. Herb, do you know what his passer rating would have been if he spiked the ball every single time?
Probably better than what he was at.
I don't know the exact number, but I'm pretty sure it'd be around 39.7.
Yeah, probably. God, what a shame. They'll bounce back. Give them a chance. I could be sitting here next week saying, cut Justin Fields. We'll see.
Yep. Crazy. Yeah.
All right, well, go ahead.
Yeah, if you spike the ball into the ground every single play, it would be a 39.6.
Hell yeah. Effective
So
gameplay.
it's almost it is almost exactly the same.
Fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts. But that's the NFL, huh?
I think so. I'm glad we were able to divert any Vikings talk this week.
I'm gonna give you a chance, okay?
Considering I made you eat so much crow on some of your takes from last week, the fact that you did not bring up the Vikings, hallelujah.
I'm gonna let it slide because I like JJ, obviously Michigan man through and through. I don't want to start knocking him yet, especially now that he's going to be out for 2 games. And Wentz we trust up there, huh?
Yeah, I can already see the beat of the drum coming where Wentz is going to come in and play super well. And then we're going to have the classic Minnesota Vikings thing where we're arguing, well, who should the starter be when they're both fully healthy? Because I know if Wentz comes in and plays well, there's going to be people that are saying it's his job. Like, they'll, like, ride the hot hand type of thing.
Yep. Hey, I will shout out the guy who was immediately in our comments this morning that went to our clip talking about that game and reminded you what the score was. Oh, I don't have to be. I'm not worried about this game at all. You should be.
I, in fact, should have been a lot more worried about that game.
Yep. You should have. Fun week in football as a whole. But can we shift gears a little bit? Because we've been real football heavy lately. And this is a sports podcast. So I want to talk about a major sporting event that happened on Saturday night. I don't know how familiar you are in the MMA boxing world, the combat sport world, but you may have heard of a little fight that happened on Saturday night out in Vegas. Terrence Crawford against Canelo Alvarez for the super middleweight title. You heard that was happening?
I saw it when I would scroll on Netflix that night.
I watched that whole fight. Terrence Crawford ends up getting the W. Unanimous decision. 116-112, 115-113, 115-113. Okay? Crawford lands 115 shots. Canelo hits 99 shots. What I'm going to say about this fight is what a beautiful sport boxing really is when you get to this level of it. It was fun to watch. It was a fight. It was back and forth. I will say, Crawford, he was in control of that fight from the first bell to the last. He was, but Canelo was not giving up. It's Canelo. No way he can give up. Okay, it was fun, dude. It was back and forth, and it was landing big shots, but standing tall. 2 dudes that just wanted to go out there and box and fight each other. What I will say is this is Terrence Crawford, this is what I want to get at. Canelo, after the fight, here's the direct quote. He's way better than Mayweather in everything. He has everything. I don't know that I disagree. I think that there's going to be a generation of boxing fan that talks about Terrence Crawford at 42-0, at 37, about to be 38 years old, beating Canelo, who didn't have to take the fight. He didn't need this fight. He gave Crawford an opportunity. And Crawford seized the absolute moment. He holds now 4 belts currently. 4 belts. That's crazy. And he came up. He came up more towards Canelo than Canelo had to cut. Canelo was the bigger guy. Canelo's the more powerful guy. Canelo caught him with shots, dude. Crawford got punched in the mouth a couple times and kept coming. The difference was Crawford's combos were unreal. He'd get him bop, bop, bop. Canelo could only land 1, maybe 2 at a time. Canelo started to come alive in the 5th. Started to battle back up until about the 9th. And then it very much became Crawford's fight. Everybody knew it, and Canelo knew it, and he knew he had to knock him out. And he just couldn't get it done. Like I said, Crawford might be a generational GOAT. He may be talked about like that in future generations. That's really, really cool to see. Like I said, he's old. We may have just watched his last fight, and I'm glad that I did get to watch it. I was really excited about it. Two really cool things after the fight. As much as people hype up like the McGregors and the shit talking and the hate, right? There was a little bit of it, but there was a mutual respect inside of that ring for one another. And that all came to a head after the fight. Did you hear about what Crawford did with his title belt?
Mm-hmm.
He gave it back to Canelo. Canelo held that belt for 5 years. Terrence Crawford realizes what that is. So in the middle of the press conference, came back and gave him his belt back. Now listen, it's Crawford's belt, it's Crawford's title. But that's a class act. That's an absolute class act. Boxing is one of those sports that's heavily reliant on respect. And that was really, really cool to see. So I had fun watching that fight. For people who said it was a boring fight, go kiss my ass, okay? Not every great fight has to have a knockout. Also, did you hear the payday that these guys got? So Crawford, a couple weeks ago on a podcast, said he's getting $10 million for the fight. Win or lose, $10 million. That's a nice payday. Canelo was guaranteed $100 million for one fight.
Damn.
12 rounds, $100 million. That's insanity. That's crazy. That's why Canelo took the fight. But I think a part of it was that respect of giving Crawford the opportunity. And Crawford sees it, man. Crawford beat him up. So that's all I have. I just want to make sure. Oh, go ahead.
Only thing I have to add to this fight is I have a huge asterisk next to this because something seemed a little bit shady with this fight. And I don't know if you saw the clip, but I believe it was Aiden Ross. He was on stream, middle of stream. He had already put money on Canelo, like a fuck ton of money on Canelo to win this fight. Gets a call midstream. He has to take it off camera. Comes back on to the stream, and he says, "Hey, hold up, sorry, I had to change my bet from Canelo to Crawford." It was like an inside source type of thing. And that seemed so extremely sus.
And that's always been the problem with boxing is there are outside influences that may change the result. I just don't know if Canelo and Crawford are the guys to do it. I've seen a rigged MMA fight, and I will maintain that Tito Ortiz versus Chael Sonnen in Bellator, Tito's last fight, that was a setup job. I was ringside working and watched Chael Sonnen give up a rear naked choke, and then 2 minutes later get submitted by Tito. Tito's last fight. These things happen. I don't know that these are the fighters to do it, to be honest with you. Interesting, though, that Aiden Ross is doing that shit.
I honestly, though, I would be less surprised now if I already know how much Canelo got guaranteed for the fight. The fuck if he cares?
Yeah, I don't give a shit about this outcome.
Got $100 million in the bank.
Yeah,
right. And it's not like he had an undefeated record that he cared for. He'd already lost a couple times in the past.
But Crawford has the undefeated record. He's 42-0 with 31 knockouts.
So to me, there's a big asterisk there. But
interesting. I hadn't heard that about Aiden Ross. But hey, thanks for letting me talk about a little boxing. I like to keep things fresh, change it up a little bit every now and again, throw some things at you. But let me hear. You got a shout out this week?
Shout out. No, not really, to be honest with you.
I've got one.
Same old. Living a pretty boring life over here.
Yeah, boring life. Get out of here. You're going to 1-year-old's birthday and threatening food truck workers over oxtail.
Living the dream.
Let me tell you about my shout out. You see this right here?
Yes, sir.
This is a little Drake University football action. I want to shout out the Bulldogs, but more specifically, freshman quarterback Logan Inagawa. Logan Inagawa. You're going to love this story, Isaiah. So the Dogs are going up to Brookings, South Dakota. For those of you who don't know, Drake football, while it is an FCS program, is a non-scholarship program. Changes a lot of things in recruiting, folks. So they travel up to number 2 South. Yeah, it's the reality. They travel up to number 2 South Dakota State, who is a hell of a football program. There's no question about that. Well, Drake's down there starting quarterback. Transfer from Tennessee State, Spellman. Can't go, right? So Drake puts in fourth-year senior Xavier Washington. Hadn't started a game since high school, and now you're going against the number 2 team in the country. Well, what's Xavier Washington do? Goes out, runs a 7-play drive off the rip, 75 yards, scores to go up 7-0, first drive of the game. Boys are hyped. 2 series later, Xavier Washington gets sacked. Hurts his shoulder. He can't go. The only other quarterbacks on the roster are 2 freshmen. 2 guys that just got there, right? Here comes Logan Inagawa. 5'10", 200-pound freshman quarterback from the Atlanta metro area. What do you think happened here, Isaiah? Which, let me preface this. 2 years ago when these teams played up in the Minnesota Twin Stadium, it was 70-7 South Dakota State. What do you think happened to the young 18-year-old first collegiate snap against a national champion winning team?
If history tells me anything, they got shellacked. But I feel like you're about to tell me something completely different.
Logan Inagawa went out there and fucking balled. 15-25, 140 yards, did throw a pick at the end of the game, but then he rushed 14 times for 75 yards and a touchdown. This is an 18-year-old kid who's never taken a collegiate snap in his life, going against one of the best defenses FCS, and goes out there and balls. Final score was 37-21. That is a respectable score for a non-scholarship program going against the defending national champions. Shout out to the fucking Dogs, baby. That's all I got. I was really hyped. I was really, really proud of the team.
I was going to say, not often do you see somebody get very excited about a 15-point loss. But
I felt good about it.
That's the good old alumni in you.
Hell yeah, baby. Tried and true. I bleed blue, baby.
That takes us to the end of another episode. As always, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow. Tell somebody you know to give us a listen. Make sure to let us know any games you want us to discuss for Thursday's episode. Otherwise, it is my decision once again, and I may pick something heinous. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. But yes, love you, beautiful people. We'll catch you on the next one.
See you.
Peace.